Hello and welcome to another video. So today we are going to discuss some of the best practices and tips and tricks which you can use in Cursor AI while working on a production code base at your day-to-day job. So let's get started. First thing is like one of the underrated trick in Cursor AI, which is write comment to autocomplete code suggestion below the comment. What does it means is, let's say if there is some small change in your app, let's say here you want to add some function to check if user is logged in or not. Then you can just write down a comment, and Cursor will auto suggest uh, the code for it, something like this. So if you see, Cursor has just auto suggested me the entire function to check the user is available there or not in the local storage. Yeah, next is, as in every company we use Jira to manage which issues to be picked, and Jira stories include description of some feature or some bug fixes. So what you can do is you can maintain, first thing is you should maintain a for Cursor folder and add it into your git ignore file so that this folder does not get committed by mistake. And inside that, we can maintain some other child folders which we can use to give more context to Cursor about anything which we want. Here if you see, there is folder called Jira. In that we will name a file based on the Jira ticket number .md, and we just have to directly copy paste that Jira description. If also there is one more thing, like instead of copy pasting this Jira stories manually, you can use Atlassian MCP server, but that needs Docker running while using it. But you can use it once and copy paste all of your Jira stories by using Atlassian MCP uh, at a single prompt. So there is one more trick which we can use is, let's say you paste a Jira story, and if it is a normal bug and you don't want to use agent mode for that or chat window for that, instead of that you want to manually fix it, if you paste this, Cursor will automatically get the context of the bug, and then when you go to relevant file and put your cursor, you can see it auto suggested me the changes, and if it is correct, you can accept it. So that's the use of context. So the more context you give to Cursor, the more precisely the auto completion part works. Next thing is, as there are times when we work as a full stack engineer and we have to build APIs for a feature and then build UI for that same feature. So what you can do is, you should clone your front end and backend repos in the same folder. It will be something like front end and backend. So now how does this helps is, let's say you have a feature and you create some APIs. So what you can do is, you can tag backend folder here, and uh, based on this, create the API. So how this helps is, uh, let's say you created some backend APIs and you want to build a UI for that. You can tag backend files here inside the cursor and then ask it to build front end for that particular feature, or in the reverse manner as well. Like let's say you use dummy data to build some front end UI, and then you want to create APIs to make it dynamic, store the data into DB. You can tag front end code base and then ask it front end code base and relevant files, and ask it to build APIs for those features. And there are many things, like there are many situations when we need context from other project when we are front end or back end, so that helps pretty much. Then we should also mention a research.md file in our project. uh, so what does it means is, let's say you are working on some feature and you need to do some research. You can maintain a research.md files, and inside that you put all your things like competitor research and all your notes and everything. Then after that you can tag cursor and you can review your approach, like this is my approach for uh, implementing this feature, and is it correct, what will be what can be the challenges, and based on my current code base, is something related to this feature already exist. That can be one thing. Second thing is, while working on the UI or backend side, there are some situations like when we duplicate some existing thing which is an already present in our app, like we don't know and we lack some, we have some communication gap, and we are not able to find something similar in our app. So in that case you can ask it to cursor that if there are already existing UI components or backend services that can be reused for this particular feature. So you will get an clear idea if something which is already present in your app can be reused or restructured a bit. If there is a component, by passing some new 2 3 new props, you can customize and reuse it for some other place or other feature. Another trick in cursor which you can use is custom modes, like specific use cases you want to do. Let's say you want to plan UI, you can create a custom prompt, or what we call custom instruction, and create a UI planner mode for that particular use case. And every time you want to do something, just use that custom mode and uh, ask it, like mention everything about your feature, and it will plan UI components, what will be the props, what can be the edge cases where you have to in which situations you have to show loader, uh, optimistic UI, state management, everything. You can customize your own personal mode for very specific niche use case. Then one more thing is maintaining a task.md file which will create, like let's say you paste your Jira stories somewhere. uh, let's say you paste your Jira stories in for cursor folder, you have pasted 122.md and some other Jira stories, and then you can tag this Jira folder to cursor, and then you can ask it to create a task.md file which will contain all the child issues in a form of a to-do list. And also prompt it like, whenever you complete any task, just mark is as done in the task.md file. You can ask cursor that at the end of your prompt you can add that whenever you complete any task, you should update the task.md file task list which we have created. And it works pretty amazing that way, as it has context what is done and what is remaining. Same thing, context is the main thing. The more context it has and the more clear you are about when you are, if you are mm, if you are a very aggressive user of agent mode, then it there needs to be some task.md file to track what tasks are done. So another trick can be using console.md file. What this file do is, let's say you use some MCP servers like browser MCP, which uh, gets which can fetch console logs from the browser and give it to cursor. And you can mention that in your cursor rules file that whenever I prompt like test my feature, like test why this feature is not working correctly, Cursor will go and fetch the console logs using browser MCP server, and maintain those console logs in a separate file, so you don't have to every time retest your app and copy paste those console logs, give it the context, what was happening previously, what is happening currently. One of the underrated feature in Cursor is dot using .mdc files for different use cases. These files again, it reason these files are being used, like cursor rules file, previously there was only one cursor rule file which in which we were giving context and what do we want. So for, let's say, if I show you in dot cursor, I have this tag.mdc file. So this file consists of my entire tech stack which is being used in this project, and there there should be a description whenever you are creating a .mdc file. You need to add a description so it can get an idea when this file needs to be used. And you get some options like always apply to specific files, like if you want to use a specific .mdc file for all the .tsx files or all the test cases files, you can do that as well. And this gives cursor correct context. You don't have to do anything. If you select apply intelligently, it will automatically, based on the instruction, select relevant files for that particular use case in your project. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.